Okay. Hello out there. Welcome to Live with Mz.KIR. Tonight's guest I have is two. The first guest is James Parrish, and the second guest is Jonathan Ware. So everybody out there, show your love, clap, snap, and all that good stuff for our guest tonight, James Parrish and Jonathan Ware. Snap it up. Okay. I'm gonna start with James Parrish first. So, James, tell us about yourself.
All right. Peace, peace, peace. Uh, James, from Plainfield. Uh, I said, grew up on 4th Street, West End. Uh, Now I'm a entrepreneur trying to fight back from this COVID situation. I was down in COVID for a minute and, getting back on my feet been difficult. So basically I'm making shirts and trying to run this little company and starting a transportation business in the future. That's what I've been building right now. That's what we were talking about earlier.
Cool, cool. Jonathan, tell us about yourself.
Hey, so as you can see, I have a son. I also have a daughter and a wife. My wife's actually she's performing today up north. I'm from New Brunswick. I was born there and then lived in North Brunswick, Somerset, so generally Central Jersey. And yeah, I'm like Jersey born, Jersey raised.
Okay.
Peace.
All right, James. So, let's see here. How did you come about with Third Eye?
All right. So, I get a little back history. When I was 19, I caught a bid. I caught a 12-year bid. And it was during that time of my incarceration that I started opening my eyes to many things, studying, learning about like the ideal of starting this particular clothing line was implanted in me back when I was behind the wall. And like at the time, hip hop, like I said, I got knocked off in '95. So around that time, hip hop, basketball community, everything was geared around fashion, kind of. So I missed out on a lot of that after dealing with it a lot before I got knocked off. So uh, it was just embedded in me. And as I read, there was some old heads down there, they were schooling me on knowledge of self, schooling me on Willie Lynch syndrome, schooling me on like a lot. I mean, I'm locked up. I was locked up for my actions, but schooling me on how some of my actions was influenced by our past. How some of the things, like I never ever dealt with like a racist situation straight up with a white person until I got locked up. Because I didn't have racist people around black people all the time. So I never really was around white people. I mean, I dealt with the whole not getting job situations, but back then it was the crack era. So we was making our own jobs then. And then, like, all right, for instance, if I compare those two eras from when I came home in '07, '06, from '95, when I came home in '06, '07ish, it was different. The drug game, the kids destroyed it. So I was good with that because it made me not have any recognition to get back in it. However, the whole supply and demand feature of it is prevalent in everything that we do. Like, and I like to tell people, like a lot of people that be crying about they can't get jobs when they come home, but you used to run a whole drug empire. How you don't know how to run something? How you don't know how to how to make a profit. Supply and demand is going to be supply and demand. You find a product, somebody want it, you get it to them. It's that simple. So it's like, uh, 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 it's difficult to explain. Like, inflation, all of that. It didn't make sense when I came home. It made more sense to get a job and stay the hell out of that modern day slavery I was in for 12 years.
Yeah.
And you know me from growing up. You know where I was at one point, and then where I went to, and after my enlightenment, seeing, like, I mean, look, I was in there for basically 12 years, and I've seen people go home, come back, go home, come back before I even went home the first time.
Wow.
They was doing life in installments. Life in Jersey only 20 years.
Oh.
So you do 5 years here, 5 years there, another 10. Yeah, you did life in installments. You paid it off in a little installment plan. Like the Willie Lynch syndrome, whether Willie Lynch is a real person or not, the Willie Lynch syndrome, the syndrome of it got us as a people a little bit sleep. They got us mixed up. They got the I don't know if all right, if I were to elaborate on what the syndrome is, it was a horse breaker that was supposed to have wrote a letter to the slave masters on how to break the slave. And in these papers, they was telling you that you had to separate the first thing they'll get everybody together. They'll get all the slaves together, and they'll get the biggest, blackest John Coffey lookingest Joker and beat him within inches of his life in front of everybody. Then they separate the women and the children, the mothers, the children, and the men. They separate that, right? Then the next thing they do is the mother is going to teach that child to not back down, because you see what happened to John Coffey over here. You see what happened to John Coffey, and so that instills a fear in them, childhood trauma. Then you got the father's not there. Father's in the field or not in the house, or they separate them to another plantation or whatever. So like these were all the tactics that was used against us at the time. The light skinned slaves in the house, dark skinned slaves in the field. That was another division that was supposed to have been done. Then you have the old and the young. The old wasn't listening to the young. They wasn't supposed to read. So now you can't pass the actual history down to the next generation.
Right.
And if you look at all of those conditions, they still here today. Even though they abolished slavery, those conditions are still here today because it was put into us back then. However, a lot of us are waking up, and and that's where the third eye come in. It's just the ability. It's the third eye is actually a manifestation of the pineal gland. It's the gland that's inside your brain that's pretty much shaped like the eye of rock once it's sliced in half. And this gland, in some people, is calcified, some people is active, and they like to say it's the seat of the soul. And I don't know, along my journey, I've been waking up, but at the same time, the more I learn, the more I don't know shit. It's like the more I learn, the more I find out I don't know nothing. There's so much knowledge out there. It's so much, like, you can't complete it. You're going to keep learning. And that's the way I look at life. I don't lose. I either win or I learn. That's it.
I know that's right. I feel you on that.
Everything's a lesson.
It absolutely is. Absolutely is. So if you could describe yourself as an animal, which would it be and why?
As an animal. Ooh. I don't know. We gotta come back to that question. Let me think about that for a second.
Okay.
Well, I can say what my favorite animal is a tiger. But
Tiger.
I don't know if I would describe myself as a tiger, but I like tigers. They're pretty cool.
Okay.
And they don't get their just due. because lions, they claim they're the king of the jungle, even though most of them don't live in the jungle. But the tigers, they actually live in the jungle, and they're the largest cat, So that's why I rock with the tiger like that.
I feel you. I hear you on that. Okay, Jonathan. Jonathan, who inspires you?
Who inspires me? Just in general, or like artistically speaking?
Mhm. Artistically speaking, in general.
Um, Definitely my family, my wife, my kids. My extended family. Uh, I've gotten a lot of inspiration just from regular day conversations. Especially when I was seriously writing every day. I could just hear phrases people would say, and they would inspire me to think of something or think of a story or get some sort of nugget out of what they're saying. Because really, I mean, everyday conversation. It's funny because, one of the classical definitions of poetry is language that is out of the ordinary. But ordinary conversation to me is very poetic. It's just like art. You kind of bring your experiences to the conversation for the subtext, for what inspired people to say certain things or not to say certain things. It's very intriguing because, I mean, literally, anytime you're having a conversation, if you're not if you're not having a conversation with an AI bot or something, it could really go in a lot of different directions, and it just depends on the two people conversating, or whoever many people are taking part in the conversation. So I'm really inspired by just everyday things, and definitely, God is an inspiration for me, and family, politics, just I mean anything you can think of that you go through in life um, can be inspiration for music or poetry or anything. I know that was long winded, but
That's okay. That's quite all right. I get it. We're poets. We're sensitive about our sweat. Yeah. I
mm.
get it. Okay, going back to James. Let's think now of an animal that you identify as or describe yourself as.
An animal that I can identify with, and I don't know if you remember this back in high school when I used to have a bunch of ferrets, right? I used to have at least 7 at one time. I had 7 ferrets.
Oh wow.
Ferrets, I was breeding them for a minute, and ferrets are they're very cognitive animals, playful. They're a bit dangerous, and they thinkers. Whereas though, like now in my life, I tend to think more before I do certain things. Because another thing about ferrets, they're small, and if they get injured, their career could be over. So they gotta stay on their P's and Q's. So they don't just go into things half cocked. They will sit there and plot on the situation, do the knowledge of it, then go in. And I think that's where I'm at now. If I had to describe myself as an animal.
Oh, okay. That's cool. So who inspires you?
Same as he says, family. I have my fiance, daughter, son. I got 2 sons. Basically, we have a blended family where she has 2 kids, I got 2 kids, and then we had Jaquan, the one together. And our daughters got 5 daughters. My daughter got 3, her daughter got 2. So my granddaughters. But yeah, family, we definitely family orientated. My mother is a big inspiration for me. My mother, she holds it down. She does. She the one that got me the stuff that she was telling me. growing up that I wasn't listening to, I'm telling them.
Headed about.
I was listening. I was listening. It just took me a second to figure it out. And other than them, then you have it's it's a few people out here. I can't really say like I'm inspired by certain people when they talk. Like even Umar can inspire me with certain things he talk. I dissect what you say. And certain things is inspirational and I leave the fluff where it's at. You know? I take the knowledge part or what I can use and I incorporate it into my everyday life. Anybody can inspire me. And then the other thing is when you ask who's inspiring somebody, it's inspire you to do what? And some people can inspire you to win, and some people can inspire you to lose. Inspiration works both ways.
Good point. Good point. Absolutely.
But if I'm gonna give anybody this claim, it's gonna be somebody I'm directly connected to. That's the inspiration that I worry about, that I deal with every day. You know?
Yeah. All right. That was all right. Snap it up out there for James Parrish on that one. Yes. So Jonathan, um, when did you start writing poetry?
When did I start? I started in elementary school. I actually they have you write different poems every now and then for different holidays, and I did like writing just in general. But in the seventh grade, they actually had I think like a creative writing course. So that's where I kind of got deeper into it. Not that I didn't think I would go very far with it. I was just something that interested me. Just writing in general interested me. And then when I was in high school, I had a teacher that was a study hall teacher, and she looked at something that I wrote, and she thought it was pretty good. She was also an English teacher, but she wasn't my English teacher. So going through the school system, it's funny that a study hall teacher was one that actually saw like a nugget in me. Now, mind you, I guess I never really showed my writing to my English teachers anyway. But I mean, they saw my writing for the things that we had to do, but no one really, I guess, figured I had what it took to go far in it or anything. They didn't seem like they were encouraging me to, go for it. But this study hall teacher actually encouraged me, and she said, "You got something there. You should, do something with it." So then when I went to college, I did music education. But you have to do writing 101 and all this other stuff. And then again, one of my college professors said, "I think you're a poet." And I was like, okay. so, so I was, in all of that, I was also into songwriting as well, which is similar, but not quite. But songwriting and my generation rap was like everybody either was trying to freestyle or rap or had a favorite rapper. And when I was in high school, one of my cousins came to live with me, and he was from New York, and he knew about like everything that was new that hadn't hit the street yet. He had already, and he liked a lot of old school Wu-Tang and Nas, and 50 Cent was like underground at that point. Nobody really knew about him. So I was also getting influenced by all of that I was hearing in terms of my delivery of my poetry was a more rapping type of style. And so when I got to college, that's when I really took it seriously. Like I started writing every day, and I was around other poets that give me a second, Jonathan. I'll be there. And we kind of iron sharpened iron. I mean, there were so many guys and girls in this area in New Brunswick when I was in college. Although I was in college in Montclair, I came down to Rutgers a lot, like almost every week, because they had Verbal Mayhem. You had Writer's Block. And you remember Kenya? She had I think it was called People's Open Mic or something. So there was a lot of poets in this area that really inspired me to continue and to, dig deeper into the craft.
Cool. So you're gonna do the after 9 poem later? Well,
Sure. I have to refresh my memory, but I'll do it.
okay, I'll come back to you.
Yeah.
James,
Yeah.
let's see here. So tell us about what do you do with your brand Third Eye?
All right. So when I first started out, I was just trying to find a hobby, but like I said, I always had the ideal of doing it. Like I could tell you another inspiration of mine as far as making clothes. You remember back in high school when Miss Prayer, keeping them mom, Deborah Prayer, she
Oh,
was making the towel jackets.
yeah.
Yeah, I was picking her brain the whole way about that because I was so into the jackets and everything. I had a couple of them that she bought. I mean, that I bought from her, and I was like taking apart. It was taking the towels and turning it to the hoodie on the jackets. That was like such a staple in my inspiration. And then it came when the Dapper Dan dropped, and he was customizing Gucci stuff. And he's like one of the ambassadors for Gucci. He got a head spot in Gucci after they cried about him copywriting them or whatever. And then they end up giving him one of the top jobs in fashion. But so I YouTube and I taught everything that I needed to know from YouTube. Then I also had people that helped me out, like Bill helped me out, was telling me about stuff to get certain equipment. Saved up to get my press. Got the press because one dude I was looking at YouTube, he was like, listen, stop looking at me making these videos every day and go out and buy something. Go get at least some type of equipment. Because I was like 3-4 years just looking at YouTubes and not pulling the trigger. Then I bought a press. I seen a press on this Craigslist days. Seen a press on Craigslist, drove all the way out to Philly, grabbed the press, like $70, came back, it was old beat up press. I still got it over there. It's old beat up press, but it got the job done. Now I need a cutter. So then I saved up, got the cutters. So now I'm cutting vinyl. I'm making like stick figure shirts, family members buying it and stuff. And then I'm starting to get good. I'm starting to layer, starting to put different colors involved. So then my price is starting to get a little complicated. And then I bought a printer. I bought my first printer, started doing the regular funeral shirts, the portrait shirts. And I just been incorporating new stuff into my business. Like now I'm working on getting a DTF machine so I can make direct to films. And then it's gonna be the way I got it set up. Because right now I have 3 people under me, other than my sons, that got their own brands. And I pretty much make their brands. Like for instance, these right here. It's a guy down the street named Spider. I do his brand. This is a template for his design. These go on the back of the shirt, and then we do the trust nuns on the front. And what I do is I will make him enough shirts where I make money if he buy at least 12 of them. And then I make sure that the price I give him, he can charge, like he charged $35, $40 for his shirts. So I make sure he can double his money, basically. So if he buy each shirt from me at 20, then he can sell them for 40. If he buy them from me at 12.50, he can sell them for 25. So that's the way me and him work. And I got like 4 other people I do it with. Now, if I get to direct the films, I don't have to send out for these. I can make these myself, cut the middleman out. Because while I'm sending out for these, I'm spending for maybe, let's say 150 of them, I might spend $30, $40. When I can make them myself for about $20, I can make like 500 of them, basically. So it'll bring my costs down. It's like with anything else, supply and demand. And once I get that in place, then I'm gonna focus on my customs a little bit less. My custom is gonna be more of a prestige type of thing. The price gonna go up because I'm gonna use all better, different material. It's not gonna be a thing where I'm gonna be skimping on the material or anything. Everything is gonna be top shelf for my custom stuff. And then if you want that, you can get that too, but it's gonna be a little bit more, especially with after COVID. Like right before COVID hit, right before I got sick, I had just bought new equipment. I just upgraded everything. I got a second press. I was doing, I was going out doing these little pop-ups. Everything was live for a minute when they started letting everybody back out. And that's right around, I got sick 2021. So I was down. I was down for like until about 2023. I was like really out of it. Remember, I came home from the hospital on oxygen. And
Right.
then it took me a minute to learn how to walk again and get everything back together. And now I'm like putting the pieces back together, but now it's like everything costs so much more. You know what I mean? A shirt that I was charging $30 for that was costing me $15 to make, maybe on, if I'm just making a one-on-one, it'll cost me $15 to make. I'm charging $35 for the shirt. But now that same shirt costs me $25 to make. And it's the same exact shirt, but now it's a year later. How can I charge $45, $50? So the profit margins is getting smaller. So now your equipment gotta evolve. Like I can't compete with the spots like All Day Shirts and them that do DTF stuff, Super Color, E&F. Those people are corporations, and they can get you 100 shirts at $3 a shirt, but you gotta buy 100 of them. You know,
Yeah.
I can get you better quality, but you're gonna pay more than $3. So I can't compete with that. But I can give you a one-on-one. And then the other thing is recruiting other people to start their brands, and then I can eat off of that. Everybody can eat. Like it's enough t-shirts, selling t-shirts. I'm gonna say this about it. You got your own, like everybody got their own, then I say quiet. Everybody got their own thing that's theirs. Like if you made t-shirts, I made t-shirts, he made t-shirts, we're not gonna make the same shirts. And our shirts going each attract a different demographic. So it's enough money in here for everybody to eat. Like I deal with a lot of people. I deal with a lot of people with shirts, and we all sit down and we talk technique. And Mal, Idris, like a lot of us sit down, talk technique, and none of us step on each other toes because we all do our own thing. So it's lucrative because t-shirts and apparel, it's like I look at it as a billboard. It's a walk-in expression. It's like I can wake up in the morning. Speaking of being inspired, I can wake up in the morning and like step outside, have some tea or something, look at the sun come up, and just have inspiration to make some type of sunny shirt or something like that. Like, and then I just post it. And next thing you know, 5, 6 people want to buy it. And it's that simple because, like I said, social media, we all influences in one way or another. How you influence and the amount you influence, that
Right.
depends on you. But we all influence people. Like you can influence a person not to like your stuff too. You know, it works both ways. That's
Yeah.
what people got to realize. It's the duality of the thing. And what scares me is this generation. I'm not gonna say this generation because it's not just the young people, the old people too. The old people ain't right neither. None of us, a lot of us, like we get discouraged quickly, and it's a lot of non-accountability going on and
Yeah.
not seeing both sides of the story. It's like you ever get in an argument with somebody and they keep repeating the same bullshit over and over and over and over because they got nothing else.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm not getting in them. In 2024, I'm not getting in none of them arguments. I'm just
Right.
gonna walk away from that and let them talk to themselves. Number one, you ain't paying my bills. And number two, arguing with you ain't gonna give me no money.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one thing that I said to myself. I'm trying to like stay away from it because I believe in karma. I'm a solid believer in karma. What you give out to the universe is what the universe gonna get back to you.
Absolutely. Yes.
You know, you hang out with a bunch of crackheads, you end up smoking crack or selling. You hang out with a bunch of gun toters, you end up shooting somebody, getting shot, or going to jail. Like
Right.
you hang out with some millionaires, you might make a couple of dollars. Like it's that simple. It's like one of my biggest. I just put this on a shirt the other day for this guy, and it says, "If I gotta be the biggest person, if I gotta be the bigger person in the room, I need a bigger room."
I know that's right. I feel you on that.
And if I got another one I'm putting on there is if I'm the smartest person in the room, I need a bigger room
Okay.
because like that's the other thing. People, like I was saying, you can't stop learning.
Right.
And if I'm at a point where I can't learn from nobody around me, I'm in the wrong area. I'm in the
True.
wrong area. I got to move around.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
So the next question before I go to Jonathan, you know, I can, put a poem on a shirt or something, I'm just saying,
we can do that. I mean,
you know.
we can do that. It don't even have to be. It can be haiku-ish. It could be something small and quick, or whatever your niche is. Yeah, we can always do that. I think we spoke about that before though, but we just got out of touch.
Yeah.
Nah, we can do that. We can speak after because I'm about to invest in a couple of things that's going to get my price point down, and then once I get everything where I need it to be, yeah, nah, I can. I mean, you got enough clientele in order to get it, and then did you see the me and my boy Mo? You ever met Mo Danger?
No.
I'm gonna introduce you to Mo. Maybe he'll come on your show. Mo, he's a spoken word guy. This guy's electrifying. And he came over here one day. I'll send you the videos, because we documented the whole thing. He was over here one day. We just smoking and talking and everything. And then he sketched out this tree. It's a straight tree. I got it. I should have it somewhere over here. All my stuff downstairs. I'm hiding from the grandkids right now. But I got a picture. I'm going to show it to you. And it's a tree he drew, and is the canopy, and then the wood comes down to a pencil tip, and he called it the poetry.
Uh,
And I started him with that, and he was selling a few, he's getting them off and everything, and now he got his own stuff, and he doing it on his own. So it's like, yeah, everything that's inspiration. Anything could just take up and go, and that's the beautiful thing about America, about this country. You can say what you want to say about it, but this is the only place I know I could wake up tomorrow with an idea that'll make me $1 million in the next week. It's just that possible. It's possible. The
yeah.
probability of it may be a little wild, but it's something to reach for, yo. That's why we got dreams. That's why we got goals to dig them.
Absolutely. Yeah. Right on. So, Jonathan, um, do you have the After Nine poem ready? Because I've been waiting for.
Yeah. So, to preface this poem for those not really alive in the 2000s, back in the day, T-Mobile had a deal. If you called after 9 and I think it didn't matter whether they had T-Mobile or not. Your minutes were free, and I guess texting was free too, or something. I don't know, but basically after 9 was the time I told people to call me, and some people didn't understand that at the time I was a music major. So with music majors, you have to take like an insane amount of courses. Like I think most people were taking about 5 a semester. We were taking about like 10 or 11, just to fit everything in. So I didn't really have time to like have a real big job, and my parents were helping to pay the bill. So I felt like, my contribution could be, I wasn't going to add to the bill, you know. So I said, call me after 9. So let me see if I remember it. It goes, after 9. If we need to speak, let's do it after 9. After 9. Time is all mine. After 9. I said after 9. After 9. If we need to speak, let's do it after 9. After 9. After 9. Time is all mine. After 9. Yo, Relly, you're like my twin, the closest kind of kin. Whatever happens, I'm going to be there for you. Yo, you need money? Don't hesitate to call. The lady's not treating you right? You can't find that one you need in your life? I'm a licensed matchmaker. I'm a professional. I'll handle it. Any cat talking reckless, he'll be silenced in a non-violent way. I'm a genius. Didn't think you had a genius as a friend, but seriously though, we boys, man, and I'm gonna help you out any way I can. I only have one line you just can't cross. Don't call me before 9 p.m. I hope your days go fine, but if you need to call me after 9. After 9, after 9. If we need to speak, let's do it after 9. After 9, after 9. Time is all mine. After 9. I said after 9, after 9. If we need to speak, let's do it after 9. After 9, after 9. Time is all mine. After 9. Yo, B Brown, what's going on? Yeah? You hanging in there? Will you hold on tight, B Brown? One of these days we need to chill. Looking at my schedule, I don't know we will, but I'm going to rearrange my days. We have a lot to catch up on, a lot to discuss. Life and love and such. I don't know if I ever told you this, but I think of you as a sister. You owe me more than a friend. Who would I call every day wrapped around the telephone cord before they were cordless? Or we could have been afforded. You've been there for me in my bum status days, wrestling cockroaches for cookies, pouring water instead of milk in the cereal bowl. Life was a struggle. Seemed to be a hassle to live. Who I'll never forget? I'll never forget you. So when your problems are high, and you raise your hands up to the skies, call me anytime, B Brown.
No.
On weekends. But on weekdays, if we need to speak, I'm going to have to call you after 9. Hope you know you look fine, but B Brown, I'm going to have to call you after 9. After 9, after 9. If we need to speak, let's do it after 9. After 9, after 9. Time is all mine after 9. And no texting either.
Now, up there,
Thank you.
folks, after 9. I remember those times after 9. As I used to tell people that too. Call me after 9.
Ain't
After
it
9.
ironic? If you was born after 2003, 9 times out of 10, you don't remember free nights and weekends.
Right. But those were good times, though. Good
Because
times.
about the time 2010, yeah, that was over. 2009, that was over. You was on a plan by then. But remember the chirp? I think I still got a chirp up here.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, they had that. They had pagers before that.
Dollar a day.
They
Right.
had Palm Pilots. All these
Yeah,
things are obsolete now.
yeah.
Yeah. Good times, though. Those were good times. Thanks for
I
that,
think
Pony.
I think I
After 9. Yeah. After 9. So, James, what other question I got for you? Um, see. Where could people reach out to you if they want a t-shirt or a hoodie?
They can check me out on Facebook on under my name, James Parrish. Instagram. I usually don't get a lot of messages from Instagram, or they transfer over to my state book on Facebook. But the Instagram is Third Eye Customs. And you call the phone number 609-558-2007. It's my business phone. You call that number and we can set something up.
All right, dynamite. Jonathan, let's see what I got for you. What advice would you give to others, musically or poetically, just trying to write or get into music?
I'd say definitely one of the biggest factors is being around other people that are trying to do the same thing. And they're going to be the ones to let you know, oh, there's something that you could submit to, or, oh, there's going to be this open mic I'm going to, or a poetry slam, or a concert, or, they're going to be the ones that kind of help you if they're cool with you. And they'll also inspire you to kind of get together whatever it is you want to kind of like lean in. So like for me, I'm a musician too. So when I hear other people play and they're at a high level, I want to make sure I'm matching that level. So I go home and I go practice whatever it is I need to practice. Same thing with writing, when you hear some people how they are delivering their poetry, and I mean there's some people with some great memory and great stage presence, and when you get around them, you don't want to be embarrassed. You want to be on that same level. So that kind of like helps you to hone your craft. And you also get to learn from whatever it is they're doing well, because everybody has a unique talent and ability, and they shine in different circumstances. And you can learn from, I mean, you can even learn from people who are quote unquote maybe not as talented as you or not as experienced as you, because they have something that's unique to them, and learning how they kind of tap into whatever it is that is going well for them. It'll show you that you can lean on your own strengths, finding your own poetic voice. For me, I've been inspired by like Maya Angelou, Langston Hughes, Gwendolyn Brooks, Walt Whitman, and a lot of them. Me being a musician, I'm also inspired by the rhythm of their words, and also, of course, the deep meanings. But I would just say you want to learn your craft. You want to be by people that are trying to go where you're going. And it's always good if you can get like some sort of mentor or teacher that has been where you're trying to go, and they can kind of show you the pitfalls and, steer you in the right way.
Iron sharpen iron.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it does.
Indeed.
Absolutely. So Jonathan, do you have any projects, anything coming up that you are working on?
So a lot of things that I'm working on or that I've put out, you can find under @Jargon's Mic, which is below me right here. And I'm on Twitter, I'm on YouTube, I'm on Facebook. Amazon streams my music, and YouTube. I have this project called On the Road, and the cover is actually the intersection of Route 27 and I want to say Easton Ave. And I took a picture of it, and that's the album cover of my EP called On the Road. It's really cool. I would say, I guess you would call it like hard bop, post bop, jazz type of vibe, sort of Robert Glasper-y a little bit mixed in there. I'm also in a band called Rube. We have something on Spotify. I think it's called Disco Italia. And I'm also in a band called Breaking Records Band. We have stuff on Spotify, on SoundCloud. Great one is called Cornbread. Really nice group, and it was a live take. We kind of play around all different places. Though at the end of the month, I'm going to be playing with Breaking Records Band at Big Kahuna's down, I want to say West Berlin, New Jersey, or it's somewhere down
Yeah,
south,
that's down
right
there.
by Diggerland.
Mm-hmm.
And so we'll be playing some originals and some covers. So yeah, you can download my music too on Bandcamp or on Amazon or wherever you get your music, you can get it.
What instrument you play, bro?
Oh, I have
My
my
bad,
piano
kid.
right here too, but oh, my phone fell. But I didn't get a chance to play it. I actually was gonna play this song called "Challenges," which is on my Bandcamp. So that's a little bit.
Right. Yes. Okay.
Yeah, give him some snap.
What you got going on there, James Parrish?
I'm gonna tell you. Remember I was saying being inspired by Dapper Dan, right?
Yeah.
I'm working on tonight. I'm working on these shoes, doing some Air Force Ones. I'm gonna throw some Louis on them
Okay.
because I just made this Louis shirt for my people, and I'm about to make me one because I like the way it came out, and I'm about to see if I can. I'm probably only going to do the back part, the swoosh, and the toe box. Well, I'm just still deciding what I'm gonna do with this. With the bottom, I might paint the sole a certain color or something. But I'm about to start messing around with shoe customs because it's like this. I'm telling you, this apparel game is ever evolving,
Mm-hmm.
and you got to stay with it, or you're gonna get left behind. Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. That's what I'm working on now. I'll show you a picture of it when I get it done.
All right.
And
Cool.
I'm also about to put my website back up. Remember when I was sick, my website was still running. I
Yeah.
made a few dollars while I was in the coma. That was crazy. I
Yeah.
woke up to a couple dollars. And I woke up to a lot of dollars missing because I had everything on auto pay. But still, I'm about to put that back up. And my mom want me to put her page in. So I'm gonna put her page because she designed the shirt messing around. Remember, my mom 82. She was messing around and she designed this shirt. So I'm gonna release it when I reopen my website. I
Ah,
ain't released it yet. I haven't even made none yet. So when I reopen the website, that's when it's going to debut. And I'm gonna see how well it do.
okay. All
That'll
right.
be done in about a week. Give me a week or so. I'll let you know.
Cool. Cool. So the last question for both you and Jonathan. Um, what do you plan? What are your plans for the future? What are your plans for the future with Third Eye, James? And what is your plans for the future musically, Jonathan?
Well, I'm outside of upgrading equipment and moving on with that. I'm trying to expand on. I was talking to you earlier about transportation. And like right now, I got a few people that I drive to work because right now I'm on medical leave right now. They don't want me because of my blood pressure. They don't want me working, and bills still got to get paid. So I got a couple people that I'm taking to work, charging them. Like I look at what Uber charging them, and
Mm-hmm.
I drop it almost half, close to half, because they paying Uber, and it's got to be somebody I trust to put in my car and everything. They
Right.
paying Uber. They paying Uber, like one person I got, they pay Uber $35 a trip.
Ooh.
I charge them 20 a trip. I charge them triple the trip. So that's 40 a day. And then you pay me when you get paid. Uber, they want their money right away unless you got one of them Uber cars or whatever.
Yeah.
So it works out. It's just a matter of if I'm driving anyway, so I'm gonna have the car gassed up anyhow. So it's just a matter of making sure that gas and the maintenance don't go over my profits. I don't want it cutting into my profit. So I got a couple other people lined up. I'm gonna try and get this van and maybe bring back Joint Connection because people was Ubering down to these prisons way down South Jersey. I mean, it's like $200 to go visit somebody, and that's before you even put no money on their books. So if I can find a way to get a van, maybe an 8-passenger van, get 4 or 5 people riding on it, and if they paying 200, I charge them 100. You know,
Yeah.
and then cut their prices out. Cause third man, nobody likes the middleman. Nobody cut that guy out. Nobody likes the middleman. You just sitting there doing nothing, getting money.
Mm-hmm.
I want all the money.
I
Give
know
it
that.
all.
I know that's right. So, Jonathan, what are your plans for the future?
Well, I'm really still growing as a musician, poet, and there's so many songs I would love to record and harmonize. I really into harmony. So I would love to do a lot of new songs, composing new songs. I just finished up a project called Where, Where. And basically, it was a musical journal of the 21 counties in New Jersey. So I'm in the process of hopefully actually recording it in a studio with some live musicians. I basically recorded myself, kind of like getting inspired by different melodies and different rhythms to create sounds that kind of reflect the 21 counties of New Jersey. So I just want to kind of like uh, throw some instrumentation on that, flesh it out, and really groove it, and just kind of take the band out and play. And also I did send my poems to be copywritten by the government. So at some point, I'm gonna actually put out this chapbook. It's been forever, but at least I did that step. So I just have to format it, and it'll be good to go. And just like exploring the arts, exploring music, exploring poetry, and all different sorts of media to kind of express some really cool things and real things. So I'm just still growing, still listening, still searching for the perfect chord. So
Cool. I'm
yeah.
actually on my book too, my first book of poetry.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So hopefully it'll be out. Hope latest January of 2025. I'm crossing my fingers. But yeah,
You got this.
That's
yeah,
great.
You got this.
yeah. No. So thank you guys. I'd like to thank you,
Thank
James.
you.
Me and James Parrish, we go way back.
Like,
Way.
like spinal cords and click clacks.
That's right. Me and Jonathan, we go back. So thank
Yeah,
you
I
guys
was a kid.
for coming on to Live with Mz.KIR. I appreciate it. Anybody who's out there watching now, or will watch later on the replay, make sure you post hashtag replay if you're watching on the replay. And if you're watching now, let's get some hearts and likes and all that good stuff and show your love for James Parrish and Jonathan Ware, folks. Clap it up out there. Woo! All right,
Thank you
James.
so much.
Jonathan, thank you again. And as I always say, be breezy. And thank you out there, Facebook, for watching. This is Tanisha, aka Mz.KIR, KIR, keeping it real. And this was Live with Mz.KIR with James Parrish and Jonathan Ware. Be breezy.
Take care.
Bye.
I gotta hit you up for that shirt. I told you.